Alright, y'all. I want to talk about something very important. Now, when we're trading, when we're using Market Cipher, it's always very important to look at Market Cipher and make sure that before we enter a trade, we're finding confirmations on Market Cipher that the price is going to move in the direction we want. But there's something very powerful that every single person should know how to do that will increase the probability of them winning trades. And that is finding confluence between Market Cipher and basic technical analysis. Now, when I say confluence, I mean you're going to be looking at Market Cipher, and Market Cipher A, Market Cipher B, whatever you're looking at is going to tell you one thing. And then you're going to look at some other indications on the chart. And if everything agrees, then you can enter a trade with complete confidence, and you have a plan, and you will know where to put your stop loss, you will know where to set your take profit. This will make you much more profitable and much more confident. And to be totally honest with you guys, one of the main reasons why new traders lose money is because they lack confidence. They could be in an amazing long position. For example, let's say you had entered a long position right here after this giant Elon Musk pump, right? And you set your take profit at 57,000. The next 2 days, you would have watched the price come down. You would have watched the price come down for 2 days. If you were a new trader and you didn't have a plan, and you didn't have confluence and multiple indications pointing out the fact that the price was indeed going to continue to rise, you would have freaked out, you would have exited the trade at a small loss, and you would have missed out on how much profit? You would have missed out on 25% profit. So in this video, I want to show you how you can build more confidence. Market Cipher is an amazing tool. In fact, if you only have Market Cipher, you can be a successful trader. But I'm going to show you some basic, simple technical analysis skills that you can apply to your charts right away to start building even more confidence. Now guys, if you don't have Market Cipher yet and you want to get it, you can receive a 10% discount if you use my affiliate link in the description of this video, and then use that coupon code that's right there. Now, obviously I do get a small commission if you use my link. It would help out my channel. You don't have to use it, but if you do use it, you can get a 10% discount with that coupon code. So, what I'm going to go over in this video is basic support, resistance, trend lines, and moving averages. I'm going to do a quick overview, but I'm going to try and make it as simple to understand as possible so that those of us who are new can understand. So, first let's talk about support and resistance lines. If you are in TradingView, the way you are going to make these lines is you're going to click a place on the chart. You're going to want to make sure that your cursor is in the place you want. When I say your cursor, I'm talking about the dotted line, the horizontal dotted line. Let's say I want to put a line exactly over the daily candle close up here. I'm just going to click here, and I'm going to do Control H, and it's going to put a horizontal line on the chart. Now, when you first open up a chart, what you are going to do is you are going to first start with the daily chart, and we're going to zoom in. We're going to start in the daily, we're going to go to the 4 hour, we're going to go to the 1 hour, then we'll go to the 15-minute chart. And we're going to look for places where price has kind of found a sticking point, where it's had trouble moving past, moving below, or where it's just touched multiple times. So right here, we had 3 days in a row where price came up and touched this level right here. We can look at this as a resistance. Price could not break above this line and close above this line. A resistance is a ceiling, meaning the price cannot come past this level. It's finding a resistance here. A support is just the exact opposite. The support is like the floor. That's the place where price cannot go below. And if we look at this level right here, we saw that price tried to break through here and couldn't, tried to break through here and couldn't, tried to break through here and couldn't. And then even just this daily candlestick, we tried to break through this support and we could not. So I'm going to draw another line of support right around here on the daily time frame. And guys, actually, you know, as we zoom in, these lines might become more clear. But I'm just giving you the general overview on how you would draw support and resistance lines. This is how you would do it. And then you would zoom in to the 4 hour, and you do the same thing on the 4 hour, where basically you're looking for places where the price found sticking points. Now, one place that really sticks out to me is right here. The reason this area sticks out to me, if you look, is because this price point, around the $51,000 mark, had so much interaction. If we take a look here on the 4-hour chart, we tried to break through this level and got a huge rejection off of it. If you ever hear somebody say we got a rejection off of a line, it basically means we tried to come up and we asked the line, if this was dating language, the line is a hot girl and we're like, hey, hot girl, maybe later on you want to go out to dinner with me? And the hot girl was like, heck no. And it pushed the price back down off of that line. That's why it's called a rejection. And then later on we finally got the hot girl to say, okay, fine, I'll go out with you. And once the girl said, okay, I'm going to go out with you, this resistance line became support. Now the price couldn't break below this line. See, it tried to break through. If we zoom in, I just want to show you guys on these candles here. We tried to break through here. We wicked down and we bounced off this support line. Same here. We wicked down and we bounced off the support line. And that happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row. And then over on the other side of this all-time high, it happened again. We got another bounce off this support line. So this is a very significant price area. And right here, it became resistance again, right? So in our relationship, we asked the girl out, she rejected us, we finally started dating, things were good for a while, and then, we broke up. And time has gone by, you're starting to miss her, so you see, maybe I'll ask her if she wants to hang out again. Nope. Keeps rejecting. Nope, she's not having it. She's not having it, and she rejected us, and now we're all the way back down here at this other support, okay? That's how you're going to view support and resistance lines, and these are going to help us find confluence with Market Cipher, because if we're coming up to a support or a resistance line, and we find that Market Cipher is telling us the momentum is going to move in a certain direction, we will be able to accurately predict whether or not we are going to have a breakout, like what happened right here, or are we going to have a rejection, like what happened right here. See, if we look at Market Cipher, even just on the 4-hour chart, we could tell that we were not going to break past. We could tell the girl was not going to agree to go out with us because, obviously we're going to look at multiple time frames to get our confirmations and confluence, but we could tell we were coming to the top of a momentum wave right here. We could tell things were winding down. The VWAP was moving down. The money flow was curving down. We could tell that this was not going to be a breakout. Contrarily, the next time we tried to break through this resistance, we had just printed a green dot on the 4-hour. We had a tight trigger wave that was higher than the last trigger wave, and we had this really thick wave crossover. We had all this momentum coming up. It was very easy to see that we were going to break through. That's how you would find confluence between Market Cipher and support and resistance lines. Now this works on large time frames, but it can become especially powerful on smaller time frames, and it can really help you scalp. Now the second concept I want to talk about here, guys, and obviously this is not like a comprehensive guide because we could talk about this for a long time. And when I release my course, I'm going to go through all of this in extreme detail. In fact, I'm thinking about live streaming the course for free on YouTube at a set time every week. We'll do one class per week. And then once it's live streamed, I will record the live streams, put together a package with documentation and all that, and sell it for pretty cheap. The second thing we're going to talk about, guys, are trend lines. Now, trend lines, we draw these by basically just connecting highs and lows of price. So right here, for example, we had a trend line that if we just connect, here's the thing about trend lines, guys. They're more general, right? They're more general. So I would say we could just connect these 2 points right here, these points right in here, with a trend line. The way you find your trend line in TradingView is right up here. You're gonna click here, click trend line, and if we zoom in on this trend line, we can see some significant things. We can see that price bounced off this trend line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. 11 times. Now, if you have a line that is being respected, when I say respected, if you hear somebody say the trend line is being respected or the support is being respected, that means price movement is reacting every time we hit this trend line. It's bouncing off of that trend line. Okay? And the more times price bounces off a trend line, the more sure you can be that we're actually in this trend. So you saw, let's say, that we bounced off the trend line right here. We bounced off right here. We bounced off right here. We bounced off right here. Now, you come to this point right here, right? And you say to yourself, okay, price is coming back down to test this trend line. If somebody says, just so everyone's on the same page, if you're listening to somebody do technical analysis and they say the price is going to test a certain level, that basically means they're saying the price is going to touch a certain level. In this case, it's touching right here, and it's testing it, meaning what's going to happen when the price touches it? Is it going to bounce off the trend line, or is it going to break down below the trend line? It's testing. The price is testing to see what is going to happen. Now, I want to zoom in on this area right here, because this is a very clear example of finding confluence in our trades using market Cipher. We have price coming down, and it's testing two things at the same time. It's testing a support level, a tested support level that's been support for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candlesticks. It's also testing a trend line that's been a trend line for 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. Not only that, we can look at market Cipher, and right after we test this trend line, market Cipher is printing a 4-hour trigger wave on market Cipher B. Now, we have so much assurance right now that this is an amazing trade to enter, because we have a bounce off a trend line, a bounce off a support that we were unable to break below for the past few days, and market Cipher is printing a trigger wave on the 4-hour. Now what we can do is we can go into our lower time frames and try and find a really great entry so that we're not entering at the top of this candlestick here, but we're entering, maybe we can find a good entry somewhere in here, right? And now we have three powerful things. We have a trend line, we have a support level, and we have market Cipher. This is giving us complete confidence that we can enter a trade, we can place a long position, even if we entered at the top of this candle, right after the 4-hour closed. And obviously at the time we were heading to uncharted territory, so we don't know where to set our take profit. There's different ways to do that. CryptoPhase has its spider lines and all this. We can talk about that in another video. But you would have very strong confidence placing your stop loss below the trend line and the support and just riding this trade up for a few days. And my strategy is, once I'm in profit, I like to move my stop loss into take profit, and then I would just set take profit levels. Maybe like set one here, set one right here. I was in this trade, and it was a great trade, and I was just setting take profit levels on the way up. And when I say set take profit levels, guys, here's what I mean. If you enter a trade with $1,000 with 1,000 contracts, right? Maybe sell like 200 right here. Sell another 200 up here, another 200 up here, another 200 up here. Move your stop loss into take profit so that at the worst, if we wick down and get stopped out, we're still getting stopped out in profit. These are ways you're going to win your trades and have confidence. That way you're not like FOMOing around. Like, let's say, for example, guys, if you did enter this trade, just as an example, and you entered right here on this candle, and then price did start to drop back down, and you were, in drawdown, and for those of you who don't know what drawdown is, it means you're in a trade and it's in the negative. You would still have confidence and say, no, I'm not going to get out of this trade in a loss, because I have so much confluence. Market Cipher told me to enter along, the trend line told me to enter along, the support level told me to enter along. So you would just hold your trade with confidence. You already made a plan, accepting the fact that you are willing to lose this much money if price comes below this trend line. It's part of your plan, is the potential to lose money. And then you're just going to hold that trade, and you're going to ride it up, and you're going to take your profit. Now, there's one more thing I want to talk about, guys, and that is moving averages. Moving averages are extremely powerful. They act as dynamic support and resistance levels. And when I say dynamic support and resistance, what I mean is this: when you draw your support and resistance levels, they are fixed horizontal lines. If you have a moving average, it will move along with the price, and it will act as a level that the price tends to respect. Now, obviously, when I release my course, I'm going to do a whole entire section on moving averages because they are very, very powerful. Market Cipher A contains moving averages. Now, if we pull up our Market Cipher A right here, you can see that this is a moving average right here. One of these lines is a moving average. Now, I like to use ribbon number 3, which I'm pretty sure is a 21 EMA moving average. In fact, if we go to indicators and we just type in EMA, click moving average exponential. If you don't have Market Cipher, you can just use a regular EMA for this, but obviously, you know, if you have Market Cipher, you'll have such amazing confidence entering these trades, guys. Okay, ribbon 3 is definitely not the 21 EMA. Let me take a look here and see which one is, because I lined one up perfectly with the EMA. Is it ribbon 4? Is it ribbon 5? It looks like ribbon 5, guys. It's ribbon 5. Ribbon 5 is the 21 EMA. So if you're using Market Cipher, you know, you can just put on ribbon 5 only. And I want to show you guys something. Ribbon 5, as you can see, which is a, let's real quick make Market Cipher B smaller here. Ribbon 5 is a 21 EMA. EMA stands for exponential moving average. It's giving us an average price for the past 21 candlesticks and telling us where the average of the price has been for the past 21 candlesticks. 21 is a Fibonacci number, which is very significant when it comes to technical analysis. I will get into that more in future videos. But I want you guys to notice something. Look at how the 21 EMA is acting as support. Okay, the price can't break down below it. Right here, the price can't break down below it. It can't break down below it right here either. Using the 21 EMA is a great indication of whether we are in a bear trend or a bull trend, an uptrend or a downtrend. If you see the 21 EMA, like for example right here, if we broke below and close a candle below this 21 EMA, you can be very confident entering a short position as long as you get Confluence in Market Cipher. Now, I want to show you guys something. If we pull up Market Cipher, we can clearly see so much Confluence, it's insane. You could have very easily entered a short position right in here, and I'll show you why. We had the price action was moving up. The momentum on Market Cipher was clearly moving down. This is called a bearish divergence. Whenever price is moving up, yet momentum is moving down, this is showing us that we are heading toward a retracement or a correction. Because think about it logically. Does it make sense that the price would keep going up if the amount of money that's coming into Bitcoin is going down? No. This is a sign that we are becoming overbought, meaning Bitcoin is becoming overvalued. And so we are going to have a retracement. So we had this bearish divergence on the Market Cipher B. And then look at what else happened. We closed the candle below the 21 EMA, and we closed the candle below our trend line. So we had so much Confluence right here. And if you really wanted to be safe, look at this. Look at exactly what happened. You could have entered a really great trade. You had a bearish divergence on Market Cipher B. You had a candle close below the 21 EMA. You had a candle close below the trend line. Then right here, you had one 4-hour candle. I'm sorry, I said two. I meant one 4-hour candle to come and try and test. It came up and tried to test two levels. It tested the trend line and it tested the 21 EMA. And it tried to ask that girl out. And she was like, "Get away from me. You're gross. You have a neck beard and acne," right? No offense to anyone who does have a neck beard and acne, right? But you know how those girls can be, right? So anyway, no offense if you're a girl out there, you know, but you know how those guys can be. No offense if you're a guy out there, but you know how it is being human, right? Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm getting sidetracked here. We got rejected off two important levels. That would have been our sign. Okay, Market Cipher B telling me to enter a short. 21 EMA telling me to enter a short. Rejection off the trend line telling me to enter a short. it could not be more clear right here that it was time to enter a short position. Now, whether or not you would have taken that short position depends on your trading strategy, your risk management, your risk tolerance, and all those things. Personally, I did not enter a short position here because I just was not comfortable entering a long-term trade. And when I say long-term trade, guys, I'm really talking like, what has it been like? It's been like, that would have been like if we had entered right from that candle rejection. That's like a 6-day trade. No, I'm sorry. This is the 4-hour chart. That would have been like a 20-hour trade, and I'm not a big fan of taking long shorts in the bull market because I don't want to end up with my shorts around my ankles. How embarrassing is that? Especially if you're in front of a room full of people. So guys, this is what I'm talking about, confluence, right? Confluence between multiple levels. Now, this will also work on smaller time frames. And this is part of my scalping strategy. When I'm scalping, when I'm taking short-term trades where I am entering in on the 5-minute chart, the 6-minute chart, I am looking for many things to line up at the same time. I am looking for many things to line up. And I will make a video that goes over my scalping strategy in depth, guys. I'm not ready to do it yet because I need to get my thoughts together. I want to make sure I can clearly communicate these things to people because the last thing I want is to be unclear and have people lose money. I already have had people tell me that they're losing money using my other swing trading strategy, and it's because they're doing it wrong. And I just want to make sure I feel like I have a clear conscience, meaning to the best of my ability, I was able to communicate everything. But let's zoom in on a smaller time frame, guys. The 5-minute time frame, right? And we're going to do this. And what I want to do is I want to pull up some support and resistance levels. Now, I am going to do that right here with this indicator I have called Agora Algo. It's actually a pretty sweet indicator for multiple things. One of those things is it will automatically draw support and resistance levels for you, which is really nice. Now, believe it or not, when was this? This was yesterday. Yeah, I entered a scalp right in here, right? I entered a scalp right in here. I rarely scalp, but I did yesterday morning because I was testing out some things. Now, these support and resistance lines, we can clearly see that Bitcoin has been trading within a range, right? Bitcoin has been trading within a range. In fact, we can kind of extend this support line right here because look, it was resistance back here, it was support back here, it was support right here, it was resistance right here. This is a very strong support level. So when I saw price hit this support level, I said this is a very significant level. Let me keep my eye on here to see what will happen if I get confluence in other indications. So whenever I'm doing my TA, I'm always looking at market Cipher. I'm always looking at support and resistance at the same time. So I'm like, okay, let me turn on my 21 EMA and see what's happening. Okay, 21 EMA. We crossed below the 21 EMA, and now we're stuck in between the resistance of the 21 EMA, because remember, it's a dynamic support and resistance, and the support right here of the, this line of support, which has been support for quite some time. It's been tested many times. Now, let me take a look at Market Cipher B. Market Cipher B just printed a bottom right here. A bottom. Gave us a snake eyes. Money flow index is in the red. And then we printed this tight trigger wave right up here, this tight green trigger wave. That's a great sign. Momentum is moving in my favor on the small time frame. Then what do we have? Then we have this giant bullish candle break up over the 21 EMA and close above it, right? Then what do we have? We have the EMA gets tested. It gets tested. The price tries to break back down below the 21 EMA, and it bounces off. Now, whenever you see price bounce off an EMA, guys, that is a very good confirmation that you should enter a trade. We got to bounce off the EMA. Now, when we bounced off that EMA, for me, this was my confirmation to enter the trade. And when I entered this trade, I would put my stop loss below the 21 EMA. Why? Because I know that price tried to dip below that 21 EMA and could not. So this is a very secure level, and I can know with confidence if price breaks below this 21 EMA, then I'm wrong and the price is not going up, and I accept that loss, right? I'm stacking these probabilities in my favor. I'm okay with being wrong here. I looked for momentum on market cipher B. I looked for a bounce off the support. I looked for a cross above the 21 EMA. I looked for a bounce off the 21 EMA. And then I entered my trade right here, put my stop loss right here, and I set my take profit right up here at this resistance. Why? Because I know that historically price came up to this level and, you know, couldn't break through it. So that is our resistance level. Again, I'm taking all these things into account. It's all together. So then what you would do once you're in this trade is you could do multiple things. As the candles move and the 21 EMA moves, you can just move your stop loss under the 21 EMA, right? You can just keep moving it under the 21 EMA. You know, a lot of people don't like to do that because, you know, crypto can wick down real quick. But you know, if I'm scalping, maybe it's because I don't have enough confidence yet, but I would rather be in a small gain than a small loss. That's just how I roll. But then after I entered the trade, we're getting more confirmations on market cipher B. We're getting more green trigger waves. We're clearly seeing the money flow index crossing into the green, which is giving me more confidence that I should stay in this trade and that things are going in my favor. Whenever you have a money flow crossover, look at what happens on the small time frames. The money flow crossovers usually result in like a quick little pump, you know, and the money flow crossovers also on the other side can result in like a small little dump. Obviously, you cannot just trade based on money flow. You need to look for multiple different, you know, confirmations. You need to look at the larger time frames to see, are we in a bullish trend on the 1 hour? You know, if you're trading on the 5 minute, identify your environment on the higher time frames, on the 45 minute, on the 1 hour. If you have upward momentum on the 1 hour, you can feel confident entering a small scalp long position on the 5 minute based on this confluence, right? Now, sometimes as well, just to be totally honest with you guys, I have been experimenting with this other indicator called the Agora Algo, which has been acting for me as another layer of confluence. It's another layer of confluence, meaning if it's giving me a buy signal right here, when we have this giant blue candle above the 21 EMA, and I also have a buy signal, and I also have an anchor wave and a trigger wave on market cipher, and I also see the money flow curving upwards, and we also just bounced off of support, I'm gonna say, okay, this is a reliable buy signal, and I would ride this thing all the way up. And obviously, I would take profit. I did take profit when we got to this resistance level, but you know, I took all my profit. If people take partial profit, they could keep riding it up and maybe set their stop loss to the original take profit level. But this indicator is actually working pretty well for me if you tune it correctly. Now, let me just show you how to tune it. I find it works best if you go onto the 5 minute chart and you come to inputs and you put it on trend mode. You put it on normal, and then you set sensitivity to 13. Okay, it tends to give me the most reliable signals if I set it to 13. The way you would set the support and resistance lines up is basically you just come down here and click support and resistance, and you can change the color of them too and make them like green. Oh yeah, there you go. Now they're green. There's other things this indicator has as well. But I've been experimenting with it, guys. It is a paid indicator. It's actually $87 per month. But right now, I am testing it out. I've had it for a few weeks. And I'm starting to like it. And you know what? It's actually worth it to me to pay the $87 per month, at least now. Just because, you know, it gives me that extra confidence, especially when I'm scalping. It's not necessary, though, guys. It's definitely not necessary. But if you want to try this thing out, they offer a 7-day free trial where you can test this thing out for a whole week and back test it for a week and like go back and look at, you know, how it would have worked in past trade setups. For a whole week, you can have it for free. And if you do want it, I do have an affiliate link in the description of this video to get the 7-day free trial. Unfortunately, I do not have a discount code. But if you are interested in it, it would help me if you use my affiliate link. And obviously, you can do the 7-day free trial and not pay anything. So that's great. So guys, this is basically a basic lesson in using Market Cipher and finding Confluence with other basic technical analysis. If you get these basic technical analysis skills down, you are going to be golden. You are going to be golden. If you have a firm grasp on Market Cipher and you put in the work. Another thing, guys, if you are new to trading, you need to put in the work. Okay? You need to put in the work. You cannot just think that you've been trading for a week, you barely even know what support and resistance is, and you're just going to get Market Cipher and start making millions of dollars. It doesn't work that way. Market Cipher is an amazing tool. But just because you have an amazing tool doesn't mean you know how to use that tool. Doesn't mean you know how to use that tool. A chainsaw is an amazing tool. If you just give that thing to a 3-year-old, and that 3-year-old has no concept of what it is, how to use it, do you think they're going to be able to cut down a tree, or do you think they're going to get wrecked? It's the same with trading, guys. We need to study. Get Market Cipher. Get Market Cipher. Rewatch this video about basic support and resistance, and then go back in time. Watch CryptoFace's videos. Watch my videos. Go back in time and backtest. When I say backtest, I mean come up with a strategy that you're looking for. Let's say, you know, you want to be a scalper, and so you come up with a strategy. You say, I'm going to look for an anchor wave and a trigger wave on Market Cipher with Confluence, with a trend line, with Confluence with the 21 EMA, and I'm only going to enter a trade if all those things happen. Go back in time, look to see when all those things happen, and take note. Would you have won that trade? Would you have lost that trade? Keep a notebook or a spreadsheet. You know, go back and test this 100 times. Don't just look for the winning trades. It's so easy for you to say, okay, I'm going to just enter a trade every time we cross the EMA, and what sticks out to your eye are these huge wins. And you're like, man, this is awesome. Every time it crosses the EMA, I'll enter a long or a short. But look at this. Like, you know, we cross over the EMA and we come back up. You know, you would, if you're using the EMA as your stop loss, you would have gotten stopped out. And it happened once. It happened twice, right? It happened 3 times. It happened 4 times. You would have gotten sliced up in here if you didn't have a plan and if you weren't using Confluence between other things. So I just want to encourage you guys, put in the work. You know, I've spent sleepless nights, hours, days, hours, weeks, months, studying charts, looking at charts, just looking at charts. You know, you will get good at this if you're new, but you need to put in the work. All right, guys, thank you so much, and God bless.